Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue our exploration. And for September, I'm committing to do 2 character phrases a day. And I used to do 4 because they're more packed into 4, have more storytelling, more background, and most importantly, a ton of Chinese expressions, classical Chinese that's passed down thousands of years through dynasties. And that's mostly made out of 4 and a lot of wisdom packed in there. And so as a Chinese descendant, I want to unpack it and share it with you. Okay, so this month we are continuing with the 2 character streak. Okay, yesterday we talked about the 体面, right? Your body, your face, and that's your kind of business card to represent you, the first impression thing. Okay, so today we continue with 面, in 面看. Okay, so 面again, we have, face and now paralysis, just by the 2 combination of the Chinese characters. You can guess the meaning of it, right? So face, again, the nose bridge, the very tip of the nose represented by here, there's 2 strokes. That's kind of the visual representation of, because it's a 3D form, right? But viewing from front, and if we represent it in 2D, the best Chinese can come up with this. I kind of agree. Okay, and then the 2 horizontal lines, or 2 horizontal lines, but stacked up vertically is the 2 nostrils. So nostrils should be like this, right? 1, 2. They are next to each other, spatially distributed horizontally. But in Chinese, to save horizontal space, instead of writing 2 strokes kind of like that, they stack it up. So the 2 nostrils are actually verticalized. Okay, so this is the center of the face. And then the circle, the peripheral, become to mean, okay, even if the character only draw a very small area on the face, the center of the face, actually, by drawing this full line, well, with a little bit opening on the top right corner, it means the whole face. It doesn't just mean the center of the face, because to represent complicated stuff, Chinese have to decide what to keep, what to omit or keep out of the frame. There are so many things to draw on the face. It's not a portrait. It's a word. It's a language. So it's abstraction, the privilege to abstract anything in reality and use kind of a tiny little bit of that thing, the partial, the center of the face in this case, to represent the whole. And drawing this to make sure you understand it's the whole face that we're talking about. And the second line you see here is the inner circle, and the second circle that's shaped exactly the same, just circle around it a second time, is to mean is this here is the emphasize, because without that, it means the whole head. There's no difference. Like you just regard this as a whole, even if it's partial to represent the whole. Without the second circle, it doesn't mean the whole. But with the second circle, it means the surface, the peripheral, that's visibly distinctive, the borderline of the head. So instead of it become the head, it becomes face, because face is the surface level of this sphere, right? So that's how Chinese represent face. A little bit of logic to put in there, partial represent the whole, and from the whole, emphasize the surface of this whole. Quite a technique, right? Okay. The Han, you can see it's a little bit, doesn't look well integrated, because I couldn't find its original written form in the dictionary. Throughout history, there are all kinds of language scholars. They analyze, they try to guess kind of like what I was doing, what I am doing right now in 2023, to guess backward how Chinese characters use icons, use pieces like Lego pieces, piece together meanings. And sometimes they skip some characters, and this is one skipped ones. And so I piece it together with this is the bed frame, okay, and this is a bird image. Actually, this means difficult. Okay, the most right side means a bird. Okay, one by one. The bed frame in contemporary bed, which is pretty standardized, right? Standardized in its size, standardized in its structure, even if they're stylized, but the structure is the same. You have to have headboard, footboard, sometimes footboard, right? You have to have the frame, the bottom frame to elevate so otherwise it's just a futon on the floor, but a bed frame provides you this elevation of above the floor, right? So this thing is the elevation of the ancient Chinese bed. I guess using a big long stick of supposedly wood, right? Because back then probably no drilling. Well, okay, I'm not going to guess what's the technology back then, but structurally, this probably stabilized the bed legs, and then there are four of them. There should be four of them, but visually, if we look from the side view, there are only two of them. And then you can see why it's verticalized. It looks like the kind of bed that in contemporary city living that's tucked on like a pull-out bed, right? It's in its non-sleeping form, non-functioning form, it's going to be pull up, standing up against the wall or tucked into the wall, something like that. Well, that's Chinese way in a language 2D frame to save its space as well, just like the nostrils verticalize the bed frame. Imagine it's laying down here. It takes a lot of horizontal space, and in Chinese character, horizontal spacing is more expensive. So to save it, verticalize, stand its visual pull-up bed to save, literally the little frame over here, the space over there. Okay, so this bed frame, and this is the headboard. That's what I would like to regard it. I guess the headboard is important to have because you don't want to sleep against the wind or something. So it's a necessary part to have a sound, safe environment to sleep on. So the bed frame normally in Chinese culture symbolize being sick, because in agrarian society, I guess at least back then, there was no weekend. Like you don't work just Monday to Friday. You work every single day in the field because the plant is growing. Plants doesn't have weekends, right? So you have to take care of the fields and probably take turns, right? I'm not sure farming practice, how it depends on how big a piece of land you have, and then you probably have to rotate across different fields. So every day is a working day. Whenever somebody is not working, it's staying in bed, there's most likely the explanation of that person being sick. That's why that person is not on the field. So bed, therefore, is related to being sick, to not being able to get out and work in the field. Okay, so that's the sick symbol that becomes being sick symbol. And then Chinese pack a variety of things in there to imply having fever or serious illness or minor illness, all kinds of degrees or type of symptoms of being sick. So in this case, Chinese put a difficult concept. The difficult concept made of a bird symbol. This is a side view of bird, and these are horizontal lines are the feathers. Chinese express feathers by horizontal lines, kind of fluffy, sticking out like that. And this is a beak, This is the eyes of the bird, and this is the aerodynamic tucked in little feet of the bird. So the bird, again, verticalized, right, to save space. And then the left side is probably a cookware or a container to keep the captured bird. So I would imagine back then in a hunter-gatherer society, probably hunter-gatherers are more equipped, or their muscles and tones, their body are more competent in capturing wild animals, right? So humans run down animals, exhaust animals, and hunt. But I would imagine capture bird, a wild bird, before the invention of guns, right? Was pretty difficult. So there are ways of capture bird. We've seen it like with a net, like bird net, something like that. So there were ancient techniques for bird capturing. But I would imagine because of the mobility and how quick bird can escape. So bird capturing probably was the most challenging type of food source that if you want to hunt down, that's the most difficult one. Therefore, bird and the containment of bird, probably this is cookware as well, like cooking the bird, you have to take off the feathers. That's a lot of trouble. Then, the continuation of fur, you just skin the animal. That's probably a lot easier than pulling off the feathers. I don't know. I have done none of it. So I have no firsthand information to tell which one is more difficult. But in any case, bird person, plus this bird capturing, containment, or processing, food processing, cooking, combined to mean difficult, because it's the most difficult thing in a hunter-gatherer society. Okay, so difficult plus being sick. So it means that the specification of the kind of being sick means it's difficult to move. So that's Chinese way to logically present, okay, if it's difficult to maneuver, right? Because a bird is hard to maneuver or capture by humans. So this hard to control, right? Give the sense of paralysis, like hard to maneuver, to move, hard to move your body. So face paralysis, I'm not sure if there is an English term to say face paralysis. Facial paralysis, is that a word? But I find commonly known like a poker face, like you don't really move your face a lot. I, on the contrary, definitely doesn't have face paralysis and move too much of my face. And sorry, Nicole Kidman. When I was searching for Botox, because Botox face was, come to my mind to represent a poker face. It's like medically treated face that made it hard for the muscles on the face to move. Therefore, it creates a sense of it's a poker face, as if you have a facial paralysis. So this, just representing that poker face. 面谈 cash into the currency of thinking about one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.